Let's move on to today's running story. Street activities are expected to get a boost as the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3 opens to passenger traffic from tomorrow, Saturday, September 15. The new ultra-modern Terminal 3 is expected to handle up to 5 million passengers a year. Yes, you heard right, which is twice the capacity of the existing Terminal 2. Touring the new facility, Deputy Minister of Trade Carlos Ahenko said he was hopeful the facility will boost trade activities.
We are currently here at the departures of the new Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3, where the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority will soon be going on a tour to inspect the facility. Now, all this is because come tomorrow, 15th September, well, the Terminal 3 is going to go live. That is, all activities from Terminal 2 is going to be transferred here. All travelers will be using this particular terminal from tomorrow. The tour commenced from the departure hall of the new Terminal 3 through to other areas of the facility. Particular attention was paid to the luggage handling systems and how to beef up security to curb the smuggling of illicit drugs and items into the country. Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry Carlos Ahenko said he was confident the facility will help boost trade activities.
This is a platform that has been created for trade to be enhanced. As far as you're concerned, if you have facilities such as this one, where security is the mainstay, many airports, many aircrafts or airlines would like to call this airport, especially the cargo aircrafts. As I speak to you today, DHL, for example, have their hub in Nigeria, Lagos. Who knows? Maybe UPS or FedEx is looking to put a hub somewhere within West Africa. As I can see, a facility such as this one provides or promotes that kind of situation, and it's going to be a better platform for any of these mentioned airlines or cargo airlines to be able to set this place as a hub for trade to go on.
On the issues of revenue generation at the airport, the board chair of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Harry Owusu, said with the expected increase in passenger numbers, more revenue will be mobilized.
So there are three functions that we will be playing here. Each one of them complements each other. And I believe that with the increase in traffic flow, revenue will also increase correspondingly. But it depends on how quickly we adapt to the changes in technology and whatnot, because it's not every luggage that will be going to be physically examined. Some will go through scanners, and of course, there are hidden cameras. They might pick on things that are hidden in the luggage, or they might not. But I believe that with the ultramodern facilities they have installed, we'll be able to foresaw all the nefarious activities in the past.
Concluding remarks from both officials gave the green light for full operations to begin at the new Terminal 3. So come September 15, the wait will be over and passengers can now use the new facility. Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
Interesting stuff. The National Communications Authority, NC, has set the price of the 2x5 megahertz spectrum slots to be auctioned this year at $33.75 million each. The price is half what MTN paid for the 2x10 megahertz slots in 2015.
A statement by the regulator indicates that the NCA has not reduced the minimum price of lots in 800 MHz spectrum band in spite of several criticisms and calls for a reduction to boost usage. The NCA is, however, given potential buyers a technology and service neutrality window which allows holders to use the spectrum to deploy any technology of their choice, including 5G, without paying for another license. The document indicates that bidders are allowed to bid for a maximum of 2 of the available spectrum lots, which would come to the same $67.5 million MTN paid. It said the licensing period is 15 years and prospective bidders are required to indicate ability and readiness to sell off 25% shares in their companies to Ghanaians in 2 years. The applying entity is required to submit a proposal including the following: proof of payment of non-refundable application fee of 250,000 Ghana cedis, proposal on the intended use of the frequency band, best price offer for a 2x5 megahertz lot with respect to NCA's asking price of $33,750,000, and the total number of lots being sought not exceeding 2. Applicants shall establish a minimum of 25% Ghanaian ownership and have 2 years to meet the criteria. MTN was given 13 months to sell off 35% of the company after acquiring the 4G license. It has been 32 months and they have not been able to meet those criteria in spite of the recent successful MTN IPO. Meanwhile, the coverage obligations for the new license are that holders must in 36 months cover a minimum of all 6 metropolitan capitals and 20 other municipal and district capitals. NCA indicated that applications are to be submitted into a tender box at NCA on or before 5 p.m. on October 8, 2018, and the auction process is expected to finish by December 23, 2018.
The Ghana Water Company Limited has been ordered to refund about 15 million cedis to customers after it was found to have illegally connected monies for no water supplied. Players within the industry have lauded the move by the PURC, saying it will lower the cost of production. Charles Aite has been engaging a sachet water producer in Accra and has come through with this report.
It's a very busy afternoon right here at the water production plant, Joy Cool they call it, and we're here to interact with one of such workers, Isaac Eduse, to help us understand how they are picking this information by the PLC to the Ghana Water Company Limited. The fact that tariffs are going to be reduced drastically between now till the end of a project which is going to see a desalination project in that regard. How are they experiencing all these things in the wake of the high cost of water, especially for production firms like himself?
As you know, way back 2012, we were using this pipe-borne water, and it was very costly. Sometimes we don't get water at all. We have to sit down and wait to fill the tanks before we start work. Sometimes 3-4 days we don't get water to do our business. So we normally call these tankers to bring us some from, I don't know where the source, we don't know. So when they come, we only treat it, add some chlorine and other chemicals.
And yet in the midst of all these things, we are paying for water bill?
Yeah, we are paying for water bill. Although the water was not flowing frequently, the bill was very big all the time. When the bill comes, say, hey, 3, 4, 5 days we'll get water within the month, and this bill 500,000, 800 within this one. So my boss decided to get a borehole if he can get some, and the water down there is good. So he went for the borehole. So with the water aspect, from the beginning, it was very, very, very tough. The business was like all the money we get will go into water. We have to buy the water before we can produce. And after production too, the quality of the water, you won't get it because of the chemicals you have to put inside to change the taste, the odor, and all stuff. It was very challenging. Yeah.
But now that you've heard this news, the PLC has ordered the Water Company Limited to refund customers, those who have been relying heavily on water, plus commercial ones like yourselves, all the amounts of money that have been issued for them over the past few months since March. How do you receive this news as a gentleman who is into the production of clean water?
It's good news. It's a good news to everybody. If you are using it as a household use of factory or let's say industrial use, for those who are still relying on on government water heavily, it's very good to reduce the prices, because of late people have been complaining about high tariffs and so on.
They're saying that they're still going to be going on with the production, and they're not going to be relying heavily on the pipe-borne water from the Ghana Water Company Limited. It is therefore very clear that they're just not going to be worried despite the reduction in utility prices. In the midst of it all, it is very clear that production houses like this one could indirectly be affected in the wake of the reduction of utilities by the Ghana Water Company Limited. I'm Charles Aite reporting for Joy Business.
You're watching Business Live. The Securities and Exchange Commission has got a warning for investment scheme operators, and Men's Gold has released another statement. What are they saying? We'll get to hear at the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Business Live on Joy News, and we'll go over to our main story for tonight. And the directive is shut down now, or you risk being caught on the wrong side of the law. That is a warning coming from the Securities and Exchange Commission to all operators of unlicensed investment schemes in the country. Here's a Business Desk report.
Securities and Exchange Commission in the public notice said it has directed these firms to shut down immediately because they are in breach of the country's Securities Industry Act. The commission in the notice also stated that some of these firms are offering rates as high as 70% per month, which is used as a bait to get the public to fall into the scam. Seeming as a structured form of fraud, offers quick returns to initial investors, but goes down later with all the investors losing their principal using fresh deposits to pay previous depositors. The capital market regulator was also worried most of these rates are surprisingly in dollars. The Securities and Exchange Commission insisted that these actions are not aimed at collapsing anyone's business, but rather to protect the interest of investors. The capital market regulator was quick to add that the public should watch out for these schemes and unlicensed investment entities.
All right, so the biggest news this week perhaps has been the controversy of men's gold and the directive by the Securities and Regulatory Commission. We want to go over to the phone to speak to a financial analyst, Ase Akotia, on developments and directive actually from SEC. Hello, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Thanks so much for joining me on Business Live. Is the directive too little, too late?
Coming earlier would have been better, but as it is, better late than never, because there's so much mistrust, so much uncertainty in the financial space. And so it's better that the regulators are biting now than just keeping mute because it's come a bit late in the day.
But why do you think that it took them so long to start cracking the whip?
Sometimes there are so many things that come to play before a regulator would come out publicly. Most often than not, before they come out to the public, they would have been engaging some of these businesses. Some would have come to their notice, some would have come to their attention. For those who have come to their attention, I believe that they would have engaged them one way or the other and trying to see if what their actions are fall in line, and if they do, see how best to streamline those. And so I believe that the public might be hearing these things now, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that the regulator started just right now. Men's gold, for instance, we know that not too long ago, though, the SEC, BOG came, a bit hard on them, drawing the public's attention to the fact that they're working without regulation. It didn't happen just today. It was because the men's gold, the institution was a bit adamant and insisted that we're not doing anything on the virus. That's how come the SEC has to come out strong on them. But these engagements didn't start today. They started some time ago.
All right. So what will it take to sanitize the system? Because this statement from SEC is clearly an admission that there are quite a number of unlicensed dealers in the country.
Yes, indeed. There are quite a number of them. I mean, some offering very outrageous products, very outrageous returns, guaranteed returns for that matter to investors. And unfortunately, you have people partaking in these schemes, and most of them are not getting themselves bitten, and a lot of money being lost in the case. I think that it's necessary. It's necessary. You're supposed to do this. It's necessary that this system is sanitized, because mind you, you're talking about money. In this case, you're talking about money, hard-earned money. You have people who've put their entire livelihoods there. There are some people who've put their entire capital in such institutions. So I believe that the quid being cracked might cause some pain to both institutions and some investors. But precedent must be set.
All right.
It might be a bit difficult for us to take, but indeed a precedent might be set. So I'm very much in favor of what these regulators are doing. Let's put everything in check so that everybody is clear in their heads. The system is okay. Investors don't take on too much risk or at least take on risk that's very much regulated, so that the probability of losing money is very minimal.
Right. How about operators who have been duly licensed, like in the case of Men's Gold, but they are using some unapproved means to sell other products? How should they deal with them?
Yes, that's similar to someone who hasn't got any license whatsoever. Because if you're licensed, it means that you're licensed to carry out a particular activity. And so if you're carrying out activities that are out of that, then in other words, you're not licensed to do what you are doing. So that pretty much would be like an institution that is working without a license. And so I think that, yes, as much as they are licensed to do something else and they're doing the other, they also have to fall in line with regulators cracking the whip now. So it's very much on course, if you ask me, and I believe that we must all give the support needed. We don't underestimate the kind of hardship, the kind of pain, the kind of consequence we are seeing in the system right now. But we must start from the point. We all must agree that we have to start from the point.
All right. Thank you very much, Aseye Akotia, who is an investment analyst. We've been speaking to the issue of the directive by the Securities and Exchange Commission. And they have a press statement responding to a letter sent by Men's Gold to them. Darryl, you have it, right?
Right. So the gold dealership firm Men's Gold has been responding to, issues raised by SEC following the letter we're told was leaked. Now, it's titled Notice to Suspend Trading Without License, and the director is signed by the Deputy Director General of the Men's Gold. It says that we acknowledge receipt of your letters dated September 12 and 13 respectively. We also reference our letter dated August 27, 2018 without prejudice. It says the commission would be available to meet with your client on Tuesday, September 18, 2018 at 2 p.m. on condition that the information we requested in our letter dated August 27, 2018 is provided by close of business on Friday, September 14, 2018. The meeting will be held at our premises, number 33rd Circular Road, Cantonment. So this is coming from the Securities and Exchange Commission, signed by the Deputy Director General Paul Abebio, saying that they're ready to meet with Men's Gold. Men's Gold has also been replying to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Basically, their statement, which is signed by the lawyer, saying that they have been treated unfairly. I'll read just portions for you. It says, your letter, referring to the leaked letter from SEC, says, raises fundamental questions as to the fairness of the decision you took on September 7, 2018, as well as whether or not it was premature. And it says that under the circumstances, it's difficult for Men's Gold to reconcile the contents of that letter. Also, Men's Gold also issuing a statement today asking customers to remain calm. Sandy, as you recall, today there was news that
there was a demonstration,
some of the customers demonstrated in protest against what they said was unfair treatment from SEC, essentially. So the issue is still evolving, and I'm sure we're going to be discussing that next week as well.
And on Business Premise, we'll carry that demonstration by the aggrieved customers of Men's Gold. But that is how we wrap up tonight and a weekend edition of Business Live, right?
Yes. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com.